Never get into an elevator if it is already open, and someone inside is quietly calling your name. This happened to my neighbor, Anya. She lived on the 9th floor of an old building where the elevator was always breaking down. Sometimes it got stuck between floors. Sometimes it arrived empty, even though the button inside had already been pressed. And sometimes it smelled like wet hair. Anya was coming home late in the evening. It was raining outside. The entrance hall was dark. The light above the mailboxes was flickering, like it was about to go out. She pressed the elevator button. The doors opened immediately. Too fast. It was dark inside, even though the light in the cabin usually worked. Anya was about to take the stairs, but then a woman's voice came from inside the elevator. Quiet, hoarse, very familiar. "Agnieszka, come in." She froze. Only her grandmother used to call her that, but her grandmother had died 3 years ago. Anya took a step back. The elevator doors began to close, and at the last second, the voice whispered, "I am still on the 9th floor." The doors closed. The elevator started going up. Anya stood in the entrance hall and could not move. She could hear the cabin rising. 2nd floor, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Then the sound stopped, but the display did not show the 9th floor. The display showed -1. There was no basement elevator in their building. Anya decided it was just a malfunction, just old wiring, just a glitch. She took the stairs. 1st floor, 2nd, 3rd. On the 4th floor, she heard the elevator doors open again somewhere below, and then the voice called louder. "Agnieszka, why did you leave?" She ran. 5th, 6th, 7th. On the 8th floor, the lights went out, completely. In the darkness, she heard a sound, slow, wet, as if someone was climbing the stairs behind her with bare feet. Slap, slap, slap. Anya reached the 9th floor and started looking for her keys. Her hands were shaking so badly that she dropped them on the floor. Behind her, the elevator doors opened. Without a sound, they just opened. A damp smell came from inside, and the woman's voice said, now very close, "I told you, I am still here." Anya did not turn around. She put the key into the lock, but the door would not open. Then she saw her last name on the door, but it was not written on the nameplate. It was scratched directly into the wood, fresh, deep scratches. And under the last name it said, "Do not let her come home." Anya started knocking on the door, first quietly, then harder, then with her fists. "Mom, open the door! Please, open it!" Footsteps sounded behind the door. Her mother came to the peephole, and suddenly she screamed. Not from fear, from horror. Because through the peephole, she saw Anya, standing at the door, pale, wet, with shaking hands, and right behind her stood another Anya, smiling, holding one finger to her lips. Quiet. She thinks she is the real one. Her mother opened the door. The your Anya rushed inside. The door slammed shut. The look turned twice. Outside, it became quiet. Too quiet. Then someone knocked softly. Once, twice, 3 tages, and the grandmother's voice whispered from behind the door, "Agnieszka, you forgot me in the elevator." Since then, Anya has never together. Elevator. Not even during the day. Not even with other people. But that is not the scariest part. 1 week after that night, her mother found a video on her phone. It camera in the advanced acting chest hall. In the video, Anya is seen entering her adult, alone. Then the door closes, and the elevator on the 9th floor opens. A wet hair steps out of it. She walks to the door. She leans toward the peephole and speaks in Anya's voice. "Mom, open the door. It is already me." Have you ever felt like someone was watching you, even though you know you're alone?
I've always been afraid of the dark. When I was a child, I used to imagine shadows lurking in the corners of my room, ready to grab me the moment I closed my eyes. As I got older, the fear faded a little, but it never completely disappeared. One night, I woke up with the overwhelming sense that someone was standing by my bed. The room was pitch black, but I could feel a presence. My heart started pounding in my chest, and I tried to convince myself it was just my imagination. But then, I heard a faint whisper coming from the corner of the room. The voice was barely audible, but I clearly heard it say, my name. I froze, unable to move. The whisper came again, this time, even closer. Summoning all my courage, I switched on the nightlight. The room filled with a soft, pale glow, but no one was there. Only the shadows on the walls seemed thicker, heavier than before. I told myself it was just a dream, and tried to fall back asleep. The next day, I set up a camera in my bedroom just to be sure. When I checked the footage that morning, I saw the door slowly open at 3:07 a.m. A dark figure entered my room. It walked over to my bed and leaned right over me. And then, the camera shut off. I haven't slept in the dark since. But even with the lights on, I can still feel someone watching me from the shadows.
You thought you were alone in this room? No.
My sister was 12. Our parents were away for the weekend. I was in charge. The first night, she said she heard sounds from her room. Quiet. Like someone scratching wood with their fingernails. I checked. No one under the bed. No one in the closet. I told her, "Old house. Pipes." She nodded. But I could tell. She didn't believe me. In the middle of the night, I woke up. She was standing in my doorway. "He's back," she said, "under my bed." I grabbed a flashlight, went to her room, got on my knees. I looked under the bed. She was lying there, my sister, eyes open, not breathing, face white. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. My body froze. And then I heard a sound, behind me, scratching, on the ceiling. I slowly turned around. The one who had been standing in the doorway, she was running toward me, on all fours, on the ceiling, head down. Her face wasn't her face. Her eyes looked in different directions. Her mouth was open too wide, much wider than a human can open. She stopped right above me, on the ceiling, and whispered, "You found me." I ran to the door, ran out of the house, didn't look back. The next day I came back with the police. The house was empty, rooms empty, no sister, no thing. But on the ceiling of her room, there were marks. 4 scratch marks, like someone had been crawling there on all fours. I moved away, never went back. But every night, at exactly 3 a.m., I hear scratching above my bed, and a whisper.
"You forgot me, but I'm still here."
My uncle bought a house in the countryside. Cheap. Too cheap. The previous owner said, never open the basement door, no matter what you hear. My uncle thought it was a joke. The first week was quiet. On the 8th night, he woke up to a knocking sound. Knock, 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 from under the floor. The knocking lasted 3 hours, then suddenly stopped, and a voice said, "I know you're awake." My uncle locked the basement with 2 padlocks, pushed a bookshelf against the door. The next morning, the basement door was open, wide open, and on the kitchen table, a cup of hot tea for him. Someone was waiting for him to wake up.